Hi guys, it's me, Miss Manifestor, helping you open a spiritual doorway to the abundance that you deserve. And on the channel today, I am delighted to be joined by Karishma Sharma. She is joining us to let us know about what she has manifested in her life, as well as some of the contrast that she's experienced. This is stuff that a lot of us go through. And sometimes we can really feel like it holds us back, but she's going to let us know how she has overcome it on her spiritual journey and just where she is at today. And it's so inspiring. So, Karishma, hello, big hello. This is an opportunity for you to introduce yourself and to let us know a bit about you and what it is that you do.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. So yeah, as you mentioned, I'm Karishma Sharma. I'm a spiritual mindset coach and energetics queen, do lots of energetics as well, as you love to do, breakthrough expert and international speaker as well. So just a bit about what I do. So I basically help highly motivated go-getter leaders, entrepreneurs, just people who really want to step into their power to so I help them essentially to overcome and break through subconscious and energetic blocks so they can take quantum leaps and move faster in life, whether it's in their business, whether it's personally. But essentially what I found is everyone wants freedom. Essentially everyone wants freedom, whether that's financial freedom, location freedom, freedom to have time with their partner or kids or families. And so that's kind of where I come in. I want to help people to be able to get to that point and set the foundation, because by releasing what's holding them back, the self-talk, the procrastination, the imposter syndrome, money blocks, whatever it is, I can help people to reprogram that and basically jump forward, catapult forward to the life that they truly desire. So that's just a snapshot of what I do.
Like, how do you say it? Like, I totally understand that. Sometimes you're like, I can only say so much. But I think that encapsulates it perfectly. And I think it's so important. And one of the things that I say a bit on this channel is like, when we take that ask, believe, receive framework, is that if you had the belief and all of that programming and cleared all that stuff up in the first place, you wouldn't be sitting around doing all these manifestation exercises and going, where's my stuff or whatever. And that's like a really big part of what this channel is about, as well as actually like being able to help give people, whether it's like tips and tools, but actually stuff where they can really go away and actually start doing some of that work. Otherwise, I could just tell people manifestation exercises till they're blue in the face, but you gotta do the work, baby.
Yes. And that's the thing I think people don't like to hear is you have to do the work. The thing is, we are manifesting 24/7, but depending where you are in life, whatever programming you've got, you're basically a mirror of, whatever you're seeing on the outside is a mirror of what's going on in the inside. And just imagine, like, the more you're clearing out, the better that mirror is going to show back.
Quality. Manifestation quality, because you can still manifest the man or the woman, but we want the quality stuff. So like,
oh, hell yes. I love it. So yeah, and then energetically as well, as you release all this, whether it's emotions, whether it's turned into physical ailments, as you're releasing that low vibration, you're raising that, then you're getting to higher frequencies, and that's where this all starts to really fall in place, and that's where the juicy stuff happens.
The goods coming.
I can just feel like, the swaying, the excitement.
The shoulders with the shimmy.
I kind of feel like we need a song to come in at this point.
You kick off and it'll go, no, you can't play that. So with is like working out what YouTube lets you play and what it doesn't let you play. So
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so our own vibrational song. So I would love to know, because obviously your energy is fantastic. Like, your energy is amazing. I think it's for like people who are into spirituality, they're like, oh gosh, the best compliment. And then
really is. It's just like, oh, okay, I'll take that and run with that.
So tell us a little bit about, I guess, because obviously your business is fantastic, but tell us a bit about like where you're at today and what you have created in your life through the process of manifestation and energetics.
Yeah, so for me, I will dive into sort of my history a bit in a bit, but for me, it was overcoming so much. It was physical ailments. So I had a lot of digestive problems because of holding on to so much emotion. And that also led to me just being constantly nauseous. I was in tears. I was on my knees. I just felt sick all the time. And I just couldn't like eat anything. I just had to keep throwing my food away every time I'd try and eat it. Like toast and Marmite was life. That was life for me. I know there's a love-hate relationship with Marmite, but
like, I like Marmite, because somebody they'd be like, that isn't life. That is like
yeah. So that was all I could stomach at one point. And so it was kind of like releasing so much of that emotion. And the thing is, when it sits in your body for so long, it kind of like your body, like, what's the best way to describe it? It's sort of like your cells and everything builds around it. And so it just sits there, that low vibration, and essentially it goes into the cells, and then the cells sort of multiply in that, low vibration. So when I released that, I had like physical pain in my chest, for example, because my body wasn't used to all that empty space. And I was like, oh, I can breathe better. And I don't feel anxious, like as anxious, like my anxiety came down so much. And yeah, I know we're going to dive into all that a bit. But yeah, just moving on a little bit is like, then I started my personal development, journey, and really starting to understand who I was. And I did so much backpacking around the world because that was my coping mechanism. It would literally be like anytime I could get annual leave, I would pack my bag and I'm out of here. So I traveled as much as I could. But what I realized whilst traveling was it wasn't going away. Whatever I was holding on to, whatever I was struggling with, it came with me on these trips. And I just remember being sat on a coach and we were driving through Mexico, and it was the most beautiful scenery, but I was in tears. And I still remember it was like Justin Bieber's song coming on, and it was like a slow song, and it was like the most serene views. And it was like, I'm in Mexico backpacking, listening to Biebs, and I'm crying like something's not right. And that was like the trigger point for me to understand that actually I can't just keep going backpacking or, traveling. Yes, I mean, it's amazing for a reboot and, to experience different cultures and things. But what essentially I needed to do was get to the root of the problem. And that's kind of where I started connecting in with spirituality. The doors sort of opened for me when I connected with sort of energy healing. So I became a pranic healer. And then I started learning a lot more about like the higher self and low vibration, high vibration, energetics. And then I started becoming certified as a spiritual and business coach. So I'm now certified under that. And then doors just kept opening. And the more I understood was just like, wow, we literally have so much power within us. Like, and the mind is just phenomenal. Like, we literally have access to not just the universe, the multiverse at our fingertips. We just need to know how to use it. And that is where the power really came through, is just knowing that actually we create our own lives. And so rather than me sitting at my desk feeling unhappy, or, you know, going on holiday feeling unhappy, I was like, I'm going to change things. I'm going to shift the way, you know, my world is basically showing up. So I started my business, which is basically to help other people who want help on that journey, who want to thrive, who want more in life, and to really start to manifest at a much more faster rate, I guess. So for me, it was just starting off the business, and then the doors that have opened is just incredible. So I started my business in October 2019, and
Yeah.
I've been I've just been a speaker on an incredible Women in Business Summit. I've been on several podcasts. I've been on other summits, conferences. I've done international, and there's so much more unfolding, doing guest experts in other people's groups and masterminds. And I'm just connecting with the most incredible people. And it just fills me with joy, because it's just like so many people sort of sit on the sidelines and watch, and sometimes you're not aware, but I get messages randomly saying what you're doing is so incredible. And what is also coming to light is just how I'm pushing boundaries for Indian women as well. And I think that is really powerful for me, because for me to be able to show like my younger cousins, or, you know, just girls everywhere, young women, to be able to step into their truth, step into their power, and really live the life that they want, that has been really, really powerful for me. And that's kind of what happens when you do that inner work, is you're breaking those cycles, you're breaking all those trends that keep going through generation after generation. And it's like, now is the time for us to heal. And what they say spiritually is, when we heal, we're healing 7 generations backwards and 7 generations forwards, which I just love, because you think about the generations to come and what it means for them. And so that just fills me with joy. So for me, it's just like, yeah, my business is thriving, but if I want to talk about what I've manifested in like my personal life, is just being able to connect with my emotions again. For me, that's been huge. And I know that might, because when you think of manifesting, you think of money and materialistic things.
No, it's all manifesting is a fully emotional and vibrational process.
Yeah.
And if you the place where you're at, then that's like you say, where the magic starts, and all these doors open and everything comes to you so quickly and naturally and effortlessly. And it is completely about the way that you feel, and being able to judge your point of attraction by the way that you're feeling.
Yeah.
And obviously that's where you started on that bus, where you were like, something's got to
yeah.
That is like so incredible. We actually have a lot of Indian women that watch this channel. So
amazing.
yeah, I know we do. So that is really, really exciting. So talk a little bit about the contrast of where you've come from, because to be able to get to this place of, I think it's peace within, and as you say, freedom within, because I'm guessing you don't go, obviously at the moment with Corona is a bit of a different situation, but I'm guessing that perhaps that urge to go backpacking all the time is like subsided slightly.
It has actually, it's calmed down. But I think it's because I've just thrown so much into building this business and my need to want to help people has really risen up. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to go and meet people across the world or find retreats that just happen to be in Bali or somewhere.
To be there. I completely agree with you what you said as well about like being able to connect with amazing people, and that's something I just notice it, whether it's in comments or chats and forums is people really saying that they don't feel that they have that tribe of people that they connect with. And I think when you begin a spiritual journey, and as you say, when your vibration raises, sometimes those people that don't, you know, match your frequency anymore naturally fall away, but they do make space for amazing people. I think the people that I've called into my life, I still love all my friends from before. I'm still friends with most of the people I'm friends with from, you know, childhood and stuff. But the people you call in, it's just incredible. Just it's just like, it is like magic. Just
it is.
Yeah. Conversations with.
Yeah, and I just want to sort of add in, like, you know, we've had essentially kind of like a year's worth of lockdown in the UK or in England, and one thing is, what I found is the people that have got me through it are people that I've never met in person.
Yeah.
It's like people I've connected with that I've managed to call in at this new level of Karishma, and they are the ones that have kept me going, which is so incredible. And one thing is, when we were coming into 2021, when it sort of got to like midnight, I sort of really connected in with myself and with my higher self, and I said one word, and that was collaboration. And that has been so powerful, because it is literally spreading through this year so far, and the amount of people that I'm collaborating with, the amount of, it's just coming with ease, because I put that out there, and I guess I'm just at the right frequency. So
I love collaborating. I think it just brings people together and just gives equal beautiful exchange of energy, and I just love it. Like, I'm all for that, like women supporting women and men and women collaborating as well. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm there for it. So yeah, tell us a bit about the contrast of where you were at, because I know obviously you said to me, you touched on that you went through bullying, which I'm really sorry that you went through that, but obviously at the same time I also believe that it's probably led you, a lot of it's led you to where you are today. So talk to us a little bit about what you've overcome.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I think this is the first year I've actually publicly talked about being bullied. I don't know why. It was something that I just hid, and I think a lot of friends and family didn't even know it had happened to me. So for me, yeah, when I actually was born in England, but I moved to Africa and I lived there for 9 years. So I grew up there from the age of 5. So when I came back, I got, you know, put into a new school. I had this accent. I was different, and so I was bullied by a group of guys as well as a group of girls. So I had my hair burnt, chewing gum put in my hair, called names. They'd make songs up about me, and I was sat in between them in class. So every time we went to class, like a maths class, it was like them there. The girl sort of took me to a place and sort of like just left me there and sort of ran off. And although I'd been here before, I just didn't know where I was, how to get back, where to go, what to do. So yeah, that kind of happened, and then they'd just sort of ignore me, and just horrible stuff. And I cried myself to sleep every night, because that was a big shock to me, because when I was living in Zambia, it was multicultural. We all just, you know, embraced being like one class, and we do everything together. And so for me, when you know, my mom found out and got the head teacher involved, that made things worse. And what I found through going through my inner work is that made me feel this small my whole life. And I didn't realize how much that affected my worthiness, and how much I put myself down and put everyone on a pedestal above me. And so I would never have known that if I hadn't done my inner work, which is so powerful. And then moving on from that, a few years on, this is sort of my early 20s, I went through anxiety attacks and depression. And that was really difficult because I literally felt like I'd hit rock bottom and there was no way out. I literally felt like there was just this darkness over me, and I had no one to turn to. In like my culture, it's not widely spoken about. When you're going through something like that, you keep it in the family, and even in the family you don't really talk about it. So I went to counseling, like no one even knew that. It didn't quite work for me. I was in and out of doctors because of like the physical ailments I mentioned earlier, and nothing seemed to work for me. And I just remember being sat on the floor in my room, just crying my eyes out, like, I can't do this anymore. Like it's so hard to explain. Like if someone hasn't been through it, it's hard to explain, like that pain, that emptiness, that darkness, that cloud over you. I mean, I know you sort of shared you've been through it yourself, so you know you can sort of resonate with what I'm sharing. But it's so hard to see a way through it. But then, like you said, it's when you go through those things, your struggles, your traumas, your whatever you want to call them, the dark times make you who you are. And that was my door to spirituality, because I used to go to the temple every week, and it just so happens there was people doing energy healing there one day. So I was like, what is this? Like, I didn't know anything about energy. I just thought spirituality was all about, you know, witchcraft and the real misconception around what spirituality was. Like, I just had no idea. I was brought up a Hindu, so it was, I mean, there's a lot of spirituality in Hinduism, but it's sort of got different aspects to it. So yeah, I sort of went and sat down, and it was just complete darkness when I sat down. And then as they started doing the healing, it started lifting, and then it went to gray, and then just this bright light. And I felt different. I was like, whoa, I almost feel like the old me. This is so weird. So yeah, so I just kept going back, and they were like, you're so receptive to energy, why don't you become a healer? And I was like, me? Like, that's something so privileged. So yeah, so I trained up as a pranic healer, crystal healing, and then yeah, like you know, that sort of opened the doors for personal development, understanding around, you know, mindset, around it, you know, understanding around the mind, just the way we are as humans, and then understanding who I was as a person. What are my values? What am I committed to? What do I want from life? Like, what is my bigger vision? And that started bringing back that life to me. You know, I started to feel alive inside again. And then you know, continuing that, got more into energetics, different to pranic healing, connecting in with my higher self, and non-physical. And that might freak people out, it might not, but I'm just saying it as it is.
It doesn't obviously freak me out at all. Like, I know some people, when I did my event, they were a bit freaked out by some of that like content, and it's like, hey, you know, it is what it is. Everyone's on different levels with their kind of, whether you look at it as healing work or spiritual journey. But I think people are becoming a lot more receptive to 5-dimensional stuff, and wanting to connect into guides and things like that. So I think you're good. I don't think just love to ask the question, like, because obviously you said that you were raised Hindu. Do you still, because I don't like to put labels on things, but if somebody said to you, oh, what religion are you, would you still say that you are a Hindu, or would you just say, no, I'm just spiritual?
Yeah, that's a really tough question, because yeah, I guess I'm at that point where I'm in between, because I'm not disregarding Hinduism, but I kind of feel like, yeah, I'm more on the spiritual side. So it's kind of like that weird point, because there is a lot of spirituality in Hinduism. Like a lot of like, stuff is being brought in through different religions. And that's what I'm starting to understand, is that spirituality is essentially different elements of different religions. And I guess that's what I love about spirituality, is that it's that freedom to be who you want to be, like who you are at a core level, and you don't have to pick and choose which one you are. You get to be all of it. So yeah, I guess that's probably still like the old version. Like some things are like, anyone that goes through their journey, does their inner work, there are parts of it which are harder to let go of than others. And I guess that for me, that's one of them. But I don't feel like being a Hindu stops me from being spiritual, or stops me from being a good spiritual coach, if that makes sense.
Asked because obviously, like, I was raised in a Christian household, and so sometimes, like on the channel, sometimes people are like, well, you can't be spiritual and be Christian, like you can't have like that meeting. And like, yeah, I get that to a degree, but I think I look at it as like, I still would identify as such, but for me, the way I look at it is that it's all about love. And like, whether you're Hindu or Christian or whatever path you're walking on, it's about love. And so I look at it and go, lots of rivers all lead up to the same ocean, and the ocean's love, and remembering that you're divine, and what you're here to do, and that's to love people and not to judge people. So no matter what, like, I don't care what religion people are from or whatever. And I just think it's an interesting topic. It's probably one
very big debate.
And I'm going to get it out there. So for you, obviously, energy healing was like a really fundamental thing. So for anybody who's, whether they've been through bullying, especially because, as you said, in your culture, it's not something that's it's like not talked about, and depression and anxiety is not something that's talked about. Whether it's for people who've come from a similar upbringing to you, or whether it's just for people in general, what, I guess, because obviously we're looking more in spiritual aspects than like going to the NHS. And like last time I felt like I bashed the NHS. We love the NHS. We're so blessed in this country to have a free health service, but we were saying that obviously there could be so much more on offer. For anybody that was in the place that you were in, what would you recommend as like a first stepping stone to, the words that I just got then was setting yourself free. So let's go with that.
Yeah, I think it's talking to someone, like just finding that one person that you can trust, and not being afraid to share it, because I mean, it's becoming so much more openly spoke about now compared to like when I went through it. And if you're not comfortable with your friends or family, is reach out for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Whether it's reaching out to like coaches, for example, whether it's reaching out to, a professional medical, doctor or nurse, or just get it out. Like, don't let it stay in your body, because when you keep those emotions trapped, they turn to physical ailments.
I agree with that completely, 100%, because I had a lot of digestive issues, and I ended up having to have a colonoscopy because they were like, oh, well, you might have bowel cancer, because I was having all this stuff, like things wrong with me. Obviously they did the colonoscopy and there was like nothing. They're like, there's nothing there. I feel so bad then, like, like one of my friends who's a psychic said to me, he was like, he didn't know about it, and he said, you keep thinking there's something wrong with you in your stomach. He's like, it's all emotional. He's like, there's nothing wrong with you. And I'm like, obviously now I'm like, now we know, but like at the time, spiritual path either, and I was very like, what are you talking about? So I completely agree. Like, if you think about how even just anxiety and what that manifests like in your chest, and how that something like that can manifest in your body just at that level, think about, when you think about like over a long time what you're holding in, like it is mental what it can do. But then I also think it's mental when you think about like what positive vibration can do for your body. Well, I think that's amazing. So I've got 2 questions for you, 2 final questions.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, first one is like, do you have a favorite? And you'll probably be like, why asking me this, like such a big question? Do you have like a favorite healing method, or a favorite manifesting technique, or a story where you're like, this manifested and it was just like mind blowing? So I'll let you choose out of that lot. Something where people would be like, oh, juicy.
Oh, that's really, really hard because I've got so many. I think I already mentioned one previously, which was just like getting into that energy and connecting with my higher self and saying that one word of what I wanted this year to be, and just how that's really come through. But I think like a fun one is I love to just stick on music and just dance and get into this high ecstatic state, and then commanding stuff into my subconscious. So whether it's like, I'm powerful, I'm beautiful, or I'm a, you could do it with like money, you could do it with anything, and there's no limits. And yeah, just whatever you want. I'm sat on a beach. It's like and I just love that because it's exercise. It's your favorite jam on, your music, you get to enjoy it. And when you're in that ecstatic state, because you're just commanding those affirmations, or whatever you want to say into your subconscious mind, your conscious mind isn't going to try and get in the way as much. So that's really, really great. And I know I'm giving more tips than I should be, but another thing I love to do is one more. And I just love basically listening to stuff as I'm getting towards a sleepy state. So when you're changing your brain waves, is like making sure you're listening to the right stuff and having that going into the subconscious mind. So whether it's saying one word like happiness or love or something like that, or even having something playing. I mean, I listen to like YouTube things which just run, and making sure you're getting that into your mindsets. And then when you wake up, don't look straight at your phone, which I know we're all guilty of.
And I've regretted it so many times. I've regretted that. And like, I think it really is that is when we say doing the work, like, is creating those, like, sometimes it's creating those habits where you're setting a boundary with yourself that just supports your energy. But like 100% big into like subliminals, and I listen to like Reiki ASMRs or anything, just fall asleep to it.
Yeah.
Perfect like time to be doing that work. And in that, you're just choosing yourself, aren't you? That's what I think with the dancing is, like, especially to anyone who's not a dancer, to actually sit down and go, well, you're not sat down, are you? But to say, you know what, I'm going to choose me, and I'm going to choose my jam, and I'm going to choose to feel good and to move my body, I think is so powerful. And I notice as well that every time I do some high vibe dancing, something always comes through within like 24 hours. Like, it's almost like clockwork. I've noticed that. So thanks for those extra tips there.
No worries.
Final question to you. This is like not a question I've asked of everybody, but I've realized I'm like, no, I really want to put this in, like, is what are you manifesting next? What are you calling in next?
Ooh. This is really interesting. Gosh, what am I calling in? I'm calling in a lot.
Okay, if you one thing, because basically what I'm going to do is then I can come back we can come back to the channel like later and go, hey, look,
okay,
we fit in.
Yeah, what am I manifesting? Manifesting going abroad.
Yeah, it's funny, the last person we had said travel as well, so it's obviously a theme.
Yeah.
So that That's it. She's going abroad.
I'm out of here.
You know, traveling's not really a big thing for me. Like, I'm not much of a traveling person, but even I'm getting to a point where I'm like, I could really do with a beach and some sangria. Like, I can make my own sangria, but it's not the same, is it, as somebody bringing it to you?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I guess this is me going a bit off topic again. So for me, it's just, again, it comes down to that freedom, because it's not just a holiday. For me, it's that feeling of feeling free to be able to go somewhere, work from another place, and not be secluded to my house. So that's what my that's why this manifestation is not just I want to go on holiday. It's more to do with that feeling and connecting in with that freedom.
I agree with that. I've thought about it as well recently, of even just having the freedom to say I'm going to go work in a coffee shop, like, and not work from my office or my sofa or wherever it is, like, just to be able to go, I feel like a change of scenery today. And I think that's powerful. And I think even just like saying, you know what, I'm gonna, like, I did it this week. I said, you know what, I'm not gonna work today. I had set the intention about a week or so before, but I said, no, I'm not going to work that day. I'm going to go out. Had the most beautiful day. And I think that's a huge point of manifestation, is that you don't have to work 24/7, and you don't have to be like laser focused on your manifestation, because that's not really surrendering. And again, that's that fine line of what you're surrendering. It's not giving up. I think people think if they take their eyes off the prize, giving up, and it's like, it's not. It's about having that trust and that faith that you can choose yourself to go and do other stuff until the next, whether it's a stepping stone or an opportunity or whatever it is, shows up. But that's definitely like sweet spot of manifesting.
Exactly.
I like my content list that I have. So basically, I just, when I want to, like, when an idea strikes for content, I literally just write it down on this crap piece of paper.
Amazing.
And it's fallen down. So I don't know, maybe there's something I'm supposed to be like saying, hey, write something on me. All right. So my final point is, how can people connect with you on social media?
Okay, so I will probably just give you one just to keep it simple. So the best place to find me is on Instagram, and I am at Karishma V Sharma, of course, all one word, on there. And so, come and find me, come and connect with me, shoot me a DM, tell me how you felt about this chat, and just let me know that you're off this YouTube channel, and then I know where you're from.
Nice where people find you from, isn't it? Because sometimes I'm like, where did you from? The guys, obviously the handle for Karishma's Instagram is there on the screen, so you can write that down. You can go straight there, find it, let her know that you think she's amazing. Thank you so much for coming on this channel. Like, I'm so honestly, I say like all the time.
So do I. I think it's a British thing.
I voice notes sometimes, and I get like, it's cringy when I do voice notes. I think I need one of those jars where I money in for the likes, and I'll be even more abundant. But thank you so much for coming on. We've enjoyed having you.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, go and connect with Karishma, and let's say a goodbye. Let's do a wave, do a cheesy.
Bye, everybody. It's been so great. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, hon.
Bye.